Have you ever thought about how much of the natural world is still a mystery to us? We live in a time when satellites orbit Earth, and we can send robots to other planets. Yet there are still animals on our own planet that are so rare, so secretive, most people don't even know they exist. These creatures have survived for thousands, sometimes millions of years, often hidden away in deep forests, remote mountains, or the darkest parts of the ocean. Today, we're going on an incredible journey to meet 10 of the rarest species you've probably never heard of. Each one is unique, fascinating, and tells a story about how amazing life on Earth really is. So let's dive right in and discover these living wonders that feel almost like magic. Creatures so rare, even scientists struggle to find them. First up, meet the saola, the Asian unicorn. The saola is so rare that it's sometimes called the Asian unicorn. But this isn't just a myth. It's a real animal that lives deep in the dense forests along the border of Vietnam and Laos. The saola was only discovered by scientists in 1992, making it one of the most remarkable zoological finds of the 20th century. Imagine how a large animal could go unnoticed for so long in this modern world. The saola looks a lot like an antelope but has some very special features. It has long, straight, sharp horns that can reach up to 20 inches in length and a smooth, chocolate-brown coat with white markings on its face. Because it's extremely shy and avoids humans, very few people have ever seen one in the wild. Even local villagers rarely spot them. What makes the saola's story even more urgent is that it's critically endangered. Its forest habitat is being destroyed by logging and farming, and hunting threatens its survival. Scientists have tried to study the saola using camera traps and other technologies, but it remains one of the most mysterious mammals alive today. It's like a living ghost of the forest, reminding us how much we still don't know about the natural world. Next up, the kakapo, the world's heaviest parrot. The kakapo is truly one of a kind. It's a parrot, yes, but unlike any other you've ever heard of. This bird is from New Zealand, and it can't fly. Some adults weigh as much as 9 pounds, which is about the size of a small cat. The kakapo has cats and rats that humans introduced to New Zealand. At one point, there were only about 50 kakapos left in the entire world. Thanks to massive conservation efforts, the kakapo population has slowly increased. They're now protected on special islands free of predators. The kakapo is also famous for its booming. Coming up next is the axolotl, the smiling salamander with superpowers. If you thought a salamander was just a salamander, wait until you meet the axolotl. This unusual amphibian lives in the lakes around Mexico City and looks like a creature from a fantasy movie. It has feathery gills sticking out of the sides of its head and a wide, almost permanent smile that makes it look like it's happy all the time. But the axolotl isn't just cute. It has an incredible ability that sets it apart from almost every other animal on Earth. It can regenerate entire limbs, spinal cords, parts of its heart, and even parts of its brain. If an axolotl loses a leg or tail, it can grow it back perfectly, something scientists study closely to understand how this works. This amazing talent could one day help humans heal injuries better. Sadly, the axolotl is critically endangered in the wild. Pollution and shrinking habitats have made it very hard for these creatures to survive outside of captivity. Their natural home, Lake Xochimilco, has been damaged by human activity and urban growth, leaving fewer and fewer places for axolotls to live. But thanks to conservation programs, they continue to survive in the wild, and many are cared for in labs and aquariums worldwide. Now, let's meet the pink fairy armadillo, the tiniest armored digger. When you think of armadillos, you probably imagine a medium-sized animal with a hard shell. But the pink fairy armadillo is a whole different story. It's the smallest armadillo species in the world, about the size of a hamster, and it lives underground in the dry plains of central Argentina. Its shell is a pale pink color and almost looks translucent, giving it a delicate and otherworldly appearance. This tiny armadillo is built for life underground. It has large, strong front claws perfect for digging tunnels in the soft soil, and its body is streamlined to slip through dirt easily. The pink fairy armadillo is nocturnal, so it spends most of its time burrowing and hunting for insects and worms at night. Because it's so secretive and lives mostly underground, very little is known about its behavior or how many are left in the wild. Scientists worry that habitat loss and climate change could threaten this tiny creature, but its secretive nature makes studying it a challenge. This little armadillo reminds us that even the smallest animals can have fascinating stories and play important roles in their ecosystems. Next up, the Dumbo octopus, the deep sea dreamer. Deep beneath the ocean's surface, where sunlight can't reach and the pressure is crushing, lives one of the strangest and most beautiful creatures you've never seen, the Dumbo octopus. Named after Disney's flying elephant Dumbo because of its big ear-like fins that flap as it swims, this octopus lives at depths of up to 13,000 feet or more. Unlike most octopuses that crawl along the seafloor, the Dumbo octopus uses its ear fins to gracefully fly through the water. It has a soft, gelatinous body that can squeeze into tiny spaces and survive extreme pressure. Scientists don't know much about these creatures because they're so deep underwater, and exploring their habitat is extremely difficult and expensive. What's really interesting about the Dumbo octopus is how it survives in this dark, cold world. It feeds on small creatures like worms and crustaceans, capturing prey with its arms. Because of the extreme environment it lives in, the Dumbo octopus has evolved unique adaptations that allow it to thrive where very few other animals can. Every time scientists send deep-sea submersibles down, they discover new things about creatures like the Dumbo octopus, showing us that even the deepest oceans hold secrets waiting to be uncovered. Next up, the tardigrade, the toughest animal on Earth. You might not believe it when you hear this, but one of the toughest animals alive is so tiny, you can barely see it without a microscope. Meet the tardigrade, also called the water bear or moss piglet. These microscopic creatures are almost impossible to kill. They can survive boiling heat, freezing cold, crushing pressure, radiation, and even the vacuum of space. Tardigrades live everywhere, from the highest mountains to the deepest oceans, in moss, soil, and fresh water. When conditions get really harsh, they curl into a tiny ball and dry out completely, entering a state called cryptobiosis. In this state, they can survive for years without water or food, just waiting for better conditions. Scientists are fascinated by tardigrades because they show us how life can adapt to extreme environments. Studying them might even help humans in space travel or improve medicine. So next time you see a patch of moss, remember, it might be home to one of the toughest creatures on Earth, even if it's invisible to the naked eye. Now, meet the saiga antelope, the prehistoric face. The saiga antelope looks like it wandered straight out of a dinosaur movie with its strange, bulbous nose. Found in the steppes of Central Asia, this antelope has a large, flexible nose that helps filter dust during dry seasons and warms cold air during winter. What's incredible about the saiga is that it's a living link to prehistoric times. Its ancestors have been around for millions of years, surviving ice ages and major climate shifts. However, the saiga is now critically endangered due to hunting and habitat loss. What makes the saiga's story so interesting is how its population can rapidly rise and fall. Sometimes tens of thousands roam the grasslands, but diseases and harsh winters have caused sudden massive die-offs, wiping out large portions in a matter of weeks. Conservationists are working hard to protect this strange and ancient creature because losing the saiga would mean losing a living piece of Earth's history. Next is the goblin shark, the living fossil of the deep sea. If you thought sharks were scary, wait until you hear about the goblin shark. This deep-sea shark looks like something out of a nightmare with a long, flattened snout and sharp, nail-like teeth that can snap forward to catch prey. The goblin shark lives far below the surface, often between 300 and 1,200 meters deep. It's sometimes called a living fossil because it belongs to a family of sharks that have existed for over 125 million years, meaning it has changed very little since the time of the dinosaurs. Because the goblin shark lives so deep, it's rarely seen by humans and very little is known about its habits. When it catches prey, it uses a special jaw mechanism that shoots forward, grabbing fish and squid in a split second. Its eerie, almost alien appearance and rare sightings make the goblin shark one of the ocean's most mysterious predators. Coming up, the Philippine eagle, the giant of the rainforest. The Philippine eagle is one of the largest and most powerful eagles in the world, with a wingspan reaching up to 7 feet. It lives in the dense forests of the Philippines and is sometimes called the monkey-eating eagle because monkeys are part of its diet. What makes this eagle so rare is its habitat. The rainforests where it lives are disappearing fast because of logging and farming. With fewer than 400 individuals left in the wild, the Philippine eagle is critically endangered and one of the rarest birds of prey on Earth. The eagle is known for its striking appearance, a crest of feathers on its head that stands up like a crown, sharp eyesight, and powerful talons. It's an apex predator, meaning it's at the top of its food chain, playing a crucial role in keeping the forest ecosystem balanced. Efforts to save the Philippine eagle include captive breeding programs and protecting its forest home. This bird reminds us how fragile our ecosystems are and how important it is to protect the wild places these creatures call home. Finally, meet the vaquita, the ocean's rarest marine mammal. The vaquita is a tiny porpoise that lives only in the northern part of the Gulf of California, Mexico. It's the most endangered marine mammal in the world, with fewer than 20 individuals estimated to remain today. Vaquitas are shy and elusive, swimming quietly in murky waters. They're small, usually about 5 feet long, and have dark rings around their eyes, making their faces look almost like little masks. The biggest threat to the vaquita is fishing nets used illegally to catch another endangered fish called the totoaba. Vaquitas get accidentally trapped in these nets and drown. Despite international efforts to ban these fishing practices, the vaquita population continues to decline rapidly. Scientists and conservationists are working desperately to save the vaquita from extinction, but time is running out. This tiny porpoise is a heartbreaking example of how human activity can push a species to the brink, and how urgent it is to protect them. So there you have it. 10 rare species you probably never knew existed. These amazing animals remind us that no matter how much we think we know about our planet, there's always more to discover. Hidden worlds, mysterious creatures, and stories waiting to be told. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep wondering.